Hello EVE players and welcome to this tutorial for EVE Online about mining and reprocessing. If you've played EVE Online at all, like the tutorial or a few hours into the game, then the term mining has probably come up more than a few times. One of the best things of EVE Online is that it has a completely player-driven economy where all the ships and all the modules and even some of the structures and stations are completely player-built. What this means is that players gather resources and use those resources to use blueprints to build almost all the things that you can interact with, like ships on the market and modules and stuff that you put on your ship, ammunition, almost everything you can think of. There are a few exceptions of course, but a lot of things are player built and player managed and stuff like that. And mining and reprocessing ties into this because everything requires resources. So somewhere on the bottom of the chain someone has to acquire these resources. They aren't just generated out of thin air. So mining, in my opinion, mining can be considered the foundation that EVE Online is built on. It's a very important part of the game, and if people weren't around to mine asteroids and stuff like that, then all those big fights that you read about in nullsec and stuff, those all wouldn't be able to happen because they consume so much resources. So yeah, mining is very important. It's the foundation this game is built on. And when I say mining, most people instantly think about mining for asteroids, the mining lasers and asteroid belts. But there are actually multiple forms of resource mining in EVE Online, of which ore is just one. We also have ice mining, gas mining, and there's even moon mining, which is a incredibly complicated and expensive venture that we're not going to discuss in this tutorial. This tutorial will focus mainly on asteroid mining, ore mining in this case, because it's the one of the first things that a new player will be probably doing or trying. At least during the tutorial you'll be instructed to mine a little bit, and it's a good way to make at least some initial money. For this tutorial I will teach you how to mine ore in a mining frigate. In future tutorials I will go more into the more advanced chips that are available for mining and the more advanced techniques that come with those advanced chips. So as usual, let's go over the list of skills to begin with, because ore mining can be a very skill intensive profession. If you want to do it professionally and you want to be a hardcore miner, then you'll be looking to train a lot of skills, which I'm not going to go into every single skill there is, but I will show you the basics of what you need to start out. And in the future tutorial, where I will be talking about the advanced ships and advanced techniques, we're going into depth about all the other skills that are related to this. So let's get the obvious skill out of the way first, which is the mining skill. This is a skill that you get when you start playing. You don't have to buy it. It should already be in your character sheet, and what this skill does is just enabling you to use some basic mining equipment. It's a skill at using mining lasers, which are the lasers that you need to mine asteroids, and training it will give you a 5% bonus to mining turret yield per skill level, which is the higher the yield, the more resources you can gather, and thus the more money you can make in a short time. You'll always want to aim for a high yield. If you're serious about mining, I would suggest getting this to level 5. At level 4 it will unlock some better mining equipment. It will unlock Tech 2 lasers instead of Tech 1, which have a better yield for themselves. And training it to level 5 will of course get you a 25% bonus to mining yield overall. This is the most basic skill. The next one is a skill that you will need, which is not under resource processing. It's under spaceship command, and it's the mining frigate skill. The mining frigate skill will allow you to pilot the Venture, which will be your very first mining frigate and mining ship that you will be using to mine in asteroid belts. The higher the level on this skill, the more it will increase the yield on the Venture mining frigate specifically. You will receive this skill during the in-game tutorial, which I highly recommend everyone does before actually going out on the internet to find some information. The in-game tutorial is very handy, and it teaches you some of the basics, even though it can be quite lengthy. And it gives you some free stuff, which is always nice, including your first mining frigate and some skills and basic equipment. So you should already have this skill as well. Train it to level 2 to fly the Venture mining frigate. The next skill, and we're going back to resource processing now, is the astrogeology skill, which is at the top somewhere. Astrogeology is a very basic bonus skill. It doesn't unlock anything. It does actually unlock something. It unlocks the more advanced mining ships. But when you're flying, it doesn't unlock anything in terms of equipment or anything that you can use on a Venture. What it does do, however, is increase your mining yield once again. Again by 5% for every skill level, which gives you another 25% bonus if you train this to level 5. This is a more lengthy skill than mining itself. So getting it to level 5 will be a little bit more of a challenge. But it's still recommended to get this to level 3 or 4 relatively early, because you'll also need it to unlock the more advanced ships. Next up we have the mining upgrade skill, which is directly beneath mining. And what this allows is the use of mining upgrades, of course, which are low power modules that you can fit on your ship, which also increase yield or decrease cycle time. Natively, the skill gives you a 5% reduction per skill level in the CPU penalty of mining upgrade modules. For your first mining frigate, you'll want this at level 4, so you can at least use the Tech 2 mining upgrades on it and increase your yield a little bit. Later on you'll want it at level 5 to unlock some of the most advanced stuff. Okay, so that covers the skills related to mining directly, but there are also quite a number of skills that have to do with reprocessing your resources. To start off with, we have reprocessing, which is a basic skill at using reprocessing facilities in a station, outposts and star bases. And what this does is that it enables you to use the reprocessing plant, which is this little window here, which we'll get into a little later at this tutorial. The reprocessing skill gives you a 3% reduction in reprocessing waste to all ore and ice types per skill level. And what that means is that when you go to reprocess some stuff, I'll give you a quick example. For example, I have some golden umber here. I'll drop this in here. And you can see that this is what you get out of this 347 units of umber. But you'll also see that your efficiency is not 100%. There will always be a little bit of waste, or a lot of waste depending on what your skill level is. And if you hover over the ore, you can see exactly what bonuses are applied and what the yield is, or what your efficiency is for using a reprocessor. And if you hover over the outcome, then you will see that there are two figures that are shown in red, which is taken by station tags, which is something I'll get into a little bit later. And there's 78 units of titanium that are not recoverable, and that is called waste. And you can lower that waste and thus get more minerals from them by increasing your reprocessing skills. So the reprocessing skill gives you a 3% reduction in the reprocessing waste for a 15% total at level 5. And the reprocessing efficiency gives you another 2% reduction in per skill level for a total of 10%, which gives you 25% reduction if you train both those skills to level 5. On top of that, and it gets more complicated from here, every single ore type, for example we have Veldspar here, which is an ore type, we have Scordite, we have Plagioclase, or how the fuck ever you pronounce that, and we have Umber, which are 4 different ore types. Every single ore type has its own processing skill, which gives an additional bonus to the waste reduction for that particular ore. For example, Umber processing is a specialization in umber reprocessing, which allows a skilled individual to utilize substandard reprocessing facilities at considerably greater efficiency. Basically, it gives you a 2% reduction in umber reprocessing for a 10% reduction at level 5. And every single ore type has these skills, and some of them are easy to train, some of them are harder to train. It depends on the ore type really. But we have Veldspar, spodumene, Scordite and stuff like that. Ice has its own skill, which is ice processing, which is also very skill intensive and gives you also a 2% reduction. But yeah, if you want to get into the reprocessing of your own resources, then you'll want reprocessing at 5, reprocessing efficiency at 5, and you'll want the related ore skills also at level 5. It's very skill intensive, so I don't recommend it for new players, because you'll be tying yourself up in a skill plan that can take literally several weeks to months to complete. So yeah, I would advise you to not get into this directly. What you can do, however, is to get the ore specific skills to at least level 3 or 4, because they unlock materials that you well, not materials, they unlock equipment such as new mining lasers and mining crystals that you will be needing in the future when you expand your mining ships to more advanced classes. So that covers the skills. I hope they make sense to you. There are a lot more skills to deal with and stuff, but they aren't really relevant to the basics of mining in a mining frigate yet. Okay, so now let's actually get into the mining. If you followed the in-game tutorial, which I told you that you should, then you will already have received the Venture, which is a mining ship, mining frigate that you will get for free during the in-game tutorial. Make active. Which is this little cute ship right here. If you've done the tutorial, you should already have gotten some basic equipment for it, like a mining laser and maybe an upgrade or something. And you should already have taken it out for a spin to do some actual mining. But just to be thorough, let's just do it from the start. We're going to improve the mining equipment a little bit. So I already have my fitting right here. But what you'll want to do is get your mining skill to level 4. And then buy 2 miner 2s, which are the advanced version of the miner 1s. They require mining level at level 4. And we want 2 of them because the Venture has 2 turret slots instead of 3. It has 3 high slots but only 2 turret slots. So we can only use 2 mining lasers on them. So get this off the market. Check your local market for a decent price for these. And fit them to your ship. both of them. And if you have your mining laser upgrade skill to level 4, you can also get one mining laser upgrade 2, which you can then put in your low slot. The middle slots you can fill with shield related stuff, or you can use a survey scanner to scan the ores that you will find in the ore belt. In my case, I just have a shield resistance thing and a shield extender. When you're just starting out, you can probably get away with leaving those empty, or you can fill them with any shield related module that you want. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to leave the rig slots empty. I do have 2 drones that I want to take with me, because hostile NPC rats do patrol the asteroid belts, so we want to be able to defend ourselves. And this is the basic fitting that we have for the Venture. So with the Venture completely fitted, let's undock. And we can find some asteroid belts. Once you're in space, you can take a look around. And in your overview, depending on how you've set it up, I've set mine with all kinds of custom settings, so it won't match your maybe your newbie overview. But you might have these little figures right here in the overview, these little upside down triangles, and those are asteroid belts. You can right click on them and you can warp to them or show info on them, and it won't really give you much info, but that's okay. What I like to do personally is right click anywhere in space and just go to the asteroid belt menu, and you'll get a nice little list of every single asteroid belt that's available in the system. Now, most systems in EVE Online have asteroid belts, and you'll be hard pressed to find one without one. There are a couple of systems in HiSec that don't have them, including Jitta, I think. And some HiSec systems are so insanely popular and crowded that the asteroid belts are pretty much mined to, complete emptiness every time you check on them. So try to find a relatively low popular system, at least one with asteroid belts that haven't been mined to shit yet. I'm just going to pick a asteroid belt and click on warp to 0. And then I can show you how mining works. An asteroid belt, when we get there, will have different types of ore. And each type of ore has a different composition of minerals. There are a certain number of minerals, and each ore type has a different composition of them, which also indirectly influences the worth of a type of ore. I'll leave a link in the video description to which will tell you exactly how much minerals are in each ore type and how much they're worth and stuff like that. But realize that the worth or the value of an ore is highly dependent on the market. For example, feldspar and scordite are always in high demand because they have high values of tritanium. But should the market get oversaturated with tritanium, then the value for those two ores will obviously drop. That's a basic supply and demand economics thing. Okay, so we're in this belt now, and as you can see in my overview right here, there's already this pirate rat NPC thing that's gonna shoot me. They're up there. So I'm gonna deal with that one first before I teach you anything else. That's why we brought the drones with us. If you have drones in your drone bay, you will have this little window, and you can expand that, click on it, right click on it, launch the drones, and we'll get our little small friends in space right here. And if I press F or I click on engage target, they will start attacking the NPCs. And these NPCs also have a small bounty on them, 4000 ISK. It's not really that much, but killing them also isn't very difficult, even when you have low skills in your in your drone skills, you should be able to easily kill them before they kill you. So while my drones are busy with that, come on, kill the guy. Thank you very much. Return to drone bay. Don't want to have you flying around. So yeah, right in front of me is a huge asteroid of dense feldspar. We can lock onto it, and as easy as that we can just activate our mining lasers on them, and our venture will start mining the dense feldspar. I would advise you to always stay moving, because if you just hang stationary in space, you'll be a very easy target for anyone who has less honorable intentions with you. So orbiting the asteroid is probably a good idea. The Venture is a small ship, it's pretty fast, pretty volatile, and not easy to catch if you just keep moving. So yeah, the mining lasers are now mining the feldspar, and every mining ship from Venture to the more advanced ones have a special ore hold, which is 5,000 meters cubed in this case, and this is where your ore will end up. The cycle is almost done, and you'll see it being deposited right here. We have 4,000 something dense feldspar with the value of 77,000 ISK roughly, and if you were to reprocess this dense feldspar, you'd get minerals out of it which are worth a little bit more. So I'm just going to wait until my ore hold is completely full, which will take a couple of cycles. When you're just starting out with mining, your skills will be low and your yield will be low, and it will take probably quite a while to fill up the Venture's ore hold, which is okay. You can do whatever you want. Shoot the rats in the asteroid belt when they show up, or you can read a book, you can chat with your corp mates. But once the lasers are turned on and you're mining away, there really isn't much other interaction that you can do, except to wait and maybe select another asteroid should this one be depleted. So I'm just gonna wait, and I'll see you back when the cargo hold is full. Alright, here we are again. As you can see, my ore hold is almost full. It's at well, the next cycle will probably, most likely, very likely fill it past its capacity. And I wanted to show you what happens when that happens. When your cargo hold is full and you mine past its capacity, the lasers will automatically shut off. In this case, Miner 2 deactivates. Your cargo hold does not have sufficient space to contain more ore. And then the thing disappeared, so I can't read more of it. Anyway, you get the idea. We have 50,000 units of dense feldspar now, and the full cargo hold. So yeah, let's go back to the station and I'll show you what to do with it. Station, dock.
Warp drive active.
From here on, you basically you can do two things with this. As you can see, the ISK estimate for this pile of ore is around 860,000 ISK. That's the income for, say, 10 minutes work, give or take.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
So we're back in the station. Right now you have two choices. You can, if you're a new player and you don't have any skills or no sufficient skills in reprocessing your ore, the only real choice you have is to sell what you just mined, which you can do by going right clicking on it and then selling this, which will get you this window. Now, depending on where you are, the prices may vary and you may sell it instantly, or it may be on sale for God knows how many days. But what you want to do, what you don't want to do actually, is sell it for the price that it gives you right away. For instance, I just opened this up. I said I want to sell this. It gave me an ask price of 13.70 ISK, which is corresponding with a buy order that someone else placed on this feldspar in this region. As you can see, if you look to get more information on this, then you will see that the highest buy order is 5 jumps away and is that 1370 ISK. If you look under the sell orders, you'll see that you can get a much higher price for it, because people are selling their ore for up to 19 ISK per unit, or 16.95 if you want to get the cheapest order. And my advice to you would always be, unless you're selling it in Jitta or whatever, to put up your own sell order for a price that is suitable for the market, for your local market situation. For example, there are 4 orders here where people are selling their ore for about 17 ISK per unit, roughly. We have 50,000 units, so we want to get under this guy's price because he has more to offer. So a decent price, if we just want to sell it quickly but still above that 13 ISK buy order, would just be to sell it for 16.94, for example. And would be the highest sell order, or the lowest, depending on how you want to look at it. You can put the duration on a day or 3 months or whatever you want. Quantity is the same, and we'll get a little bit more extra money out of it. You'll lose some money for the broker's fee and sales tax, but still you end up with 830,000 ISK, which is a pretty decent amount in this case. So if you click sell, then your buy order will show up right here in the local regional market, and people can buy from that order or buy the entire order, and once they do, you will get the ISK in your wallet. However, there is of course a different path to take. If you have all your reprocessing skills in order, the reprocessing 5, reprocessing efficiency 5, and all the reprocessing skills for whatever ore that you have mined, also at level 5, then you will eventually reach a point where you can reprocess your own resources. And if we go to the reprocessing window again and we drag all this ore into here, we get a nice little list, and we get an overview of what we're gonna get out of it, and what the value is, how much the volume it will gonna take, but more importantly, it's gonna show you the efficiency of your reprocessing. In this case, I have a reprocessing yield of 66%, which is reasonable but not the maximum you can get. In this case, stations in HiSec have a 50% base yield, which is important. Player-owned structures or star bases with a reprocessing array will have a 52% base yield or a 54% base yield. Player outposts in nullsec can have up to 60% base yield, which will increase the total efficiency of reprocessing by a lot. So that differs from place to place. Additionally, you're standing with the station owner, in this case Potec Pharmaceuticals. If I click on the information tab and I go to standings, you'll see that my standing with Potec Pharmaceuticals is 0, because I've never run any missions for them or whatever. As a result, they take a portion of my ore as a sort of tax, and you'll see that as a 0.95 reduction from station owner tax at the bottom of this list, which means that about 5%, is that something I'm telling correctly? 5% of my minerals are being taken as tax, and you can decrease that to 0 by increasing your standing with that NPC station to 6.65, something like that, from the top of my head. 6.5, I think it is. If you get your standing up to 6.5, then you won't be losing any more minerals to the station owner, which is always helpful. Beyond that, the not recoverable figure can be reduced even further by using implants and stuff like that. But the basic premise is that if you can get your reprocessing efficiency up to around 70%, then it is viable for you to reprocess your own stuff. That's the basic idea. If you are below this 66%, then don't even think about reprocessing it, because your ore is more valuable if you just sell it. And this is because these minerals are worth more on their own than the ores that they came from, but only if you have a high enough reprocessing efficiency, which is at least 66%. The higher the better. So if I were to hit reprocess right now, then all the ore would be reduced, and I would get these minerals in my hangar, which I can then sell independently, which is often an indicator that I can get a lot more money for them. But again, only do so when your skills are really sufficient to do so. Otherwise you'll just be robbing yourself of easy money. So I hope this tutorial helped you for your mining endeavors. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments below the video. In the description you'll find a link to a more detailed chart for the ores and the compositions, the prices, the values, stuff like that. If you want to stay up to date for this YouTube channel, you can visit my website, or you can go visit the Facebook page and the Twitter account, which are linked in the annotations on the screen. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in another tutorial.